Hello, Internet, and welcome to the Free-to-Play Cast, episode 32, brought to you by MMOBomb.com. I'm your host, Magicman. I've got my buddies with me back from a cruise around the world. I don't know where the hell he went. It's Brim. How are you?
Oh, it's a beautiful world.
So where'd that cruise go?
Caribbean. It went Honduras, Belize, Cozumel.
Oh, wow.
I'm probably really screwing up the names of these actual cities.
Probably. Typical American.
Yeah.
We've also got... Is he on the line? Oh, he's on the line. Shadee, how are you, sir?
I am awesome. Doing great.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Been a while since you've done the show here.
It has been. And I'd like to say that quitting MOBA games is amazing for your mental health.
Oh,
that is my public message for the day.
So you're retiring from MOBA on a high note, huh?
Yes. Yes, I am.
A certain match happened this past week. The video went up today. It's Monday the 30th as of this recording. The video went up today. We're going to talk about that as part of the news. But first, let's swing on to some other MOBA talk while we have you here, Shadee. Let's get started. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Brim, I know you're a big fan of the MOBAs, so news-wise, we've got Universal Monsters Online. Now, this is the browser MOBA by Big Point. We talked about this a number of weeks ago when it was first announced. Really didn't have a lot of information. We just kind of speculated on it and kind of made fun of it. So, now that it's playable and there's video out there for people to see, and we've got Shadee on the line, thought it'd be a good time to bring it back up. Now, you're the resident MOBA expert, Shadee. Well, ex-MOBA expert now that you've quit. The game's going into closed beta. You've played a little bit. I've played a little bit. Brim, you've checked out some videos. If you don't know, Universal Monsters Online is the browser-based free-to-play MOBA game by Big Point that takes Universal's classic monsters, you know, the Mummy, the Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula, Frankenstein, all of them, and throws them into a little MOBA competition-type experiment, all in the comfort of your browser.
Yeah. Quite the package.
Quite the package. And Brim, I think when you and I talked about this, we said we were Universal Monster fans, so we liked that aspect of the game.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, it's still a little goofy to me, but whatever.
Yeah, but when you think about it, you're like, okay, I like those characters, and yeah, it's kind of goofy, so it's probably going to take that tongue-in-cheek approach, and it's not going to take itself too seriously, right?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, but then it went ahead and tried to take itself seriously, didn't it, Shadee?
Yeah. Yep, they kind of went the exact opposite direction at full speed from the one they probably should have taken.
Yeah, and I agree with Brim's opinion here that it should have been a little tongue-in-cheek and, you know, a little fun and goofy, and probably would have garnered a pretty big community of people that like MOBA games but hate MOBA communities. You'd probably have a little bit of a better community there if the game wasn't taking itself seriously as like an esport or a MOBA, and this is by no means esport material, at least right now in the closed beta.
No.
I think we need to get Brim to play this. He
At
hates
least
MOBAs.
once.
This will be enough for him to like run out and start killing beautiful things. Finding butterflies and crushing them. And
You deserve to die for what I've just witnessed.
I don't know. I don't think it's going to get any better. I don't have a lot of hope for this one. Saying this, too, on the browser front, I just did a first look for City of Steam, which is in alpha by Mechanist Games, and it's a browser game, browser steampunk MMO, kind of like a C9 persistent town with everybody in it, and then instance basing with similar to Diablo-type gameplay, dungeon crawling, loot fest, and everything. Browser-based, alpha, company you almost never have heard of. They're financing it through their own little Kickstarter on their webpage. You can be a supporter and everything. I gotta say, had the full screen option, Shadee. Had the graphic changes that you could make. including up to 720, 1080. Pretty impressive. I mean, it played well. I have seen some people commenting on the first look that they did not have the same experience. They had some lag and things like that. I gotta say, I played it over the course of a few days, and it played really well. I didn't have any of those types of problems. The occasional lag spike here or there that you get with any game, but once you pop full screen with that one, you didn't even remember it was a browser.
Yeah, I watched a couple of the trailers on the City of Steam's YouTube channel, and I gotta say I was impressed. Yeah. I don't think I've seen graphics like that in a browser-based game, and not in my experience. I don't know if there are other people who are pushing the envelope like this, but holy cow.
Yeah.
It looks like your typical, downloadable game. It doesn't look like a browser-based game at all.
Which makes me hopeful for Game of Thrones, but then again, it's by Big Point.
There's that question mark.
So let's slide on to one that we like. One that we want to get our hands on some more. PlanetSide 2, Sony Online Entertainment. Brim, I know you're looking forward to this one.
Oh, I'm excited.
So the Death is No Excuse trailer dropped, and damn, does it look amazing. In fact, there's people commenting on it, hey, it's not gameplay. It flashes right at the beginning of the trailer, not gameplay. But there's also been people that have had hands-on time with the game that have been commenting on our own forums and on different forums saying, tell you what, guys, the gameplay isn't that far off from what you're watching here. So I always like when you see a real consistency between gameplay and cutscene. I would rather have the cutscenes in any game be a little less detailed just to match the gameplay more, so you have that immersive vibe. Am I just being stupid, or is that just me? That the gameplay looks like the cutscenes and back and forth. You feel more immersed in the story, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Shadee just laughed. He's like,
PlanetSide 2, this isn't a MOBA.
Yeah, I just want to blow shit up. I'm getting more pumped for this game as more video becomes available. What about you, Brim? What'd you think of the Death is No Excuse trailer? What are your thoughts, PlanetSide 2? You looking forward to it? What's up?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. After I saw the trailer was one of the first things I saw when I got back from my cruise, because I had no internet access. I was just sitting in my cabin like shaking. But after I saw this, I was like, oh my god, I gotta play this game now.
Isn't that weird? It's like we're so connected now that to take a vacation, we still need to have access to our email and Facebook and stuff, or it's just like we can't relax.
I'm like, I know Magic Man's sending me like thousands of emails.
I left you alone, brother. You were on vacation.
Oh, I was on my own.
You took your lady and went down on a cruise. I wasn't going to interfere with that. Whew, I wasn't going to send you any news. What about you, Shadee? You're not really a huge gunner guy, but you've been live streaming some first-person shooters a little more often.
Yeah, I'm getting back into a little bit. With Blacklight Retribution, it makes it very easy for me to just jump into a few matches every once in a while. And I'm getting a little more used to the item shop and stuff there, which is complicated in my opinion. But PlanetSide 2, I've been watching this footage for the past couple of months. One of the big YouTubers, Total Biscuit, has been just really whoring this game out. He's absolutely in love with it. And I've been getting a lot of information from him, and it just, the more gameplay I see, the more I hear from the developers, the more trailers that just come out. Everything about this game looks good. I can't point at a single aspect of it and say, maybe that's not going to work out.
When E3 ended, there were a lot of media outlets and MMO sites and things like that that had, up until then, just been kind of, okay, PlanetSide 2, blah, 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 blah. And when they came out of E3 and got some hands-on time, they were just, oh my god, that is ridiculously awesome. So here's my question. I mean, most of our listeners are going to be familiar with PlanetSide 2, so we don't really need to spend a ton of time talking about the game itself. In fact, we've done that on a previous show. I wanted to bring this up because last week we had our interview with Mark Kern from Red 5, the team behind Firefall.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get your takes on this. We'll start with you, Brim. Does PlanetSide 2 have the ability to make people go, Firefall what? Huh? Firefall who?
Ooh.
Huh? Does it have the ability to make people just forget Firefall. I mean, they're similar. There's obvious differences in the game and the points of the game and the combat aspects, but you've got to admit they're at least of that same vein, that type of sci-fi shooter type game, right?
Oh yeah, they definitely have some of the same themes, I guess you would say.
So everything you've seen so far, does PlanetSide 2, and you've played Firefall, does PlanetSide 2 have the ability, when both launch, to make people totally forget about Firefall?
Well, that's a good one. You might actually have to give me a minute on that one. I may have to go back to Firefall and look.
What about you, Shadee?
I haven't been tracking Firefall quite as much as PlanetSide 2, but I have been keeping an eye on it, a loose eye. And I don't think that anybody's going to forget about either game, regardless of which one they pick. And I actually think a lot of people are going to play both. They're free-to-play games.
They're free to play.
Not?
Why not?
Yeah. Just have them both on your computer if you feel like jumping in, bringing a bunch of guys into PlanetSide 2 and raiding a base or, getting some work done on the map. Go do that for an hour. If you feel like jumping into Firefall, getting some new loot, getting some new weapons, and, doing missions or whatnot, you can do that. I don't see either one shutting the other one out, and I think, honestly, because of the free-to-play market, it's going to be really nice that people are going to be able to play both.
Yeah, but you've got to look at it from the business side, too. And I agree totally with everything you've just said, but as I like to do here on the show, especially when Brim's on here, I'm going to play devil's advocate and just go the other way on you here. You've got to be looking at this, if you're Sony Online or if you're Red 5, you've got to be looking at the other game thinking, damn it, they're going to dig into our profits. I mean,
Yeah.
Sony's probably looking at Firefall saying they're going to take some PlanetSide 2 money away from us, Cash Shop money away from us. And Red 5's looking at PlanetSide 2 saying the exact same thing. I mean, that's got to be certainly a concern. While on our side, it's great. We got two great games. We can get in there for free. We can play it. We can buy something in either one if we want. We can bounce between the two. We don't have a sub fee that makes us feel like we're obliged to play the game. It's great from our side. But you've got, from their side, do you think there's a little bit of worry on either one? And who do you think's worrying more, Sony or Red 5? I actually have an opinion on this one that I think might be a little out there, but I'll give it to you. What do you guys think, though? Who's more worried, Sony or Red 5?
Red 5, probably.
I'm going to have to go with Shadee on this one.
The impact that PlanetSide 2 has had so far, like you said, after E3, the buzz that was going around PlanetSide 2,
yeah,
I don't think Firefall has really had that. They've definitely had some
over
major
500,000 registered.
Yeah, they've had some
Zero
major
marketing.
outlets and stuff in the past, but I don't think they've had the same sort of huge, like, rolling across the internet impact that PlanetSide 2 has had. And I think when that happened after E3, those guys are probably sitting there like, well, now we got to do something. Now we got to make sure people have not forgotten about us. We got to get back out there and make sure people are interested, which they definitely are. Like I said, I don't think they're going to lose people. But
yeah, I'm crazy interested on both. I mean, I've played a ton of Firefall, love the game. Kind of staying away from it right now, waiting for the new update because they're going to have a swipe of all the beta stuff. So.
And
pretty dead
competition
right now.
Yeah, competition is always good for us as gamers as well. Having two companies that both want our money going to them, they're both going to be doing everything they can to make sure their games are amazing, their cash shops are fair, and people will want to spend money on that game. So that's good news for us as well.
Yeah, here's my concern, though. I definitely think that Red 5 is probably the more nervous of the two. Just because you're the smaller company going up against Sony. Both have great products. PlanetSide 2 and Firefall are just amazing products. I can say for a fact that so far Firefall is. PlanetSide 2 I expect will be a fantastic product. Here's my concern, though, and it's one that's often overlooked. It's overlooked on websites, but it's not overlooked by gamers. I have seen this in just about every forum where PlanetSide 2 is discussed. And gamers latch onto this and they give the information, but you don't see a lot of sites spreading the information. Guys, it's still Sony Online Entertainment. Okay? Their free-to-play model, in my opinion, is one of the worst on the market. And that's one of the things that gets, I think, in my own opinion, gets overlooked when you see videos on websites and things talking about PlanetSide 2. But the gamers are not forgetting that they've got the horrible station pass. They've got some ridiculous tiering on some games. They've got some games that don't even let you have access to items you've already rightfully earned. I mean, is Sony Online... Brim, is that something we should be worried about with PlanetSide 2?
That is what it's going to come down to, I think, between these two games, is what is going to be required in the cash shop. And with Sony Online, like you said, they have a tendency to just be terrible with their economics.
Yeah. It's not the worst, but it is one of the worst. Am I alone, or do you guys agree on that one at least?
I agree.
I don't know enough about it. I know very little about
Okay,
Sony's
then
games.
just agree.
Just agree?
Yeah, just agree.
Damn it, Shadee.
I heartily agree with both of you, with full confidence.
Yeah, it's definitely something that we should be worried about. And gamers that are commenting on it on different forums and things, you're absolutely right. There's still concern here. It is Sony Online Entertainment. Not to mention their own model there, but Sony Online, on an off-topic here, is actually turning over Europe. You guys have seen this? They've been talking about it for pretty much the entire 2012, but now it's finally finishing up and getting ready to switch over. They're turning over Europe operations for 40-some countries, and 8 of their games to ProSiebenSat.1. They're going to take over the localization and the monetization and if you have station passes, you'll have to go through ProSiebenSat and get their station pass and everything. Turned over 8 games, including PlanetSide 2 and EverQuest Next. The next EverQuest, if it ever sees the light of day, which I hope it will. Turning over 40-some European countries to them. So now you don't even know what the hell you can expect. And a lot of Sony Online people, you know it's bad when Sony Online game players are like, oh, hell no, we don't want to go to this company. You know, and that's what the forums are over and over and over again for this. You know it's bad when somebody prefers Sony Online's payment plan.
That's a good point.
And PlanetSide 2 and EverQuest Next, I mean, I could see them maybe, you know, dumping some of the older ones, the EverQuest and EverQuest 2 and everything, and just saying, okay, let's try and make a big bulk of money up front and let ProSiebenSat do their thing to make their money back. But PlanetSide 2 and EverQuest, it's like Sony's just saying, hey, Europe, we're not doing that anymore. In their favor, though, yeah, we're done with that. With that whole Europe thing, no, we're not doing that. In their defense, though, enough gamers complained about originally it was going to be European servers only and North American servers only, and you couldn't play on the other one's servers, and that just caused an uproar on the forums. It just, you know, people were throwing piles of shit everywhere, and it was just a mess of people screaming and flames being set. So they have finally allowed the 2 servers you could play on either one, but I don't know. Is this a confusing move? It just confuses the hell out of me, Brim.
I don't understand it. It's kind of blindsiding, I think. Especially, like you said, with one game coming out soon and another one that, you know, they're thinking about coming out. It doesn't make any sense to me.
And it's been in the works for a while now, and it's been well advertised. It's not like Sony is springing this on anybody.
Right.
You know, it's been in discussion for pretty much all of 2012, even a little earlier. But the switchover is finally getting ready to happen. So weird, you know, that Sony would give up the European distribution. Well, I shouldn't say distribution. European publishing rights for not only 6 of their current games, but 2 of their upcoming games. Any idea why they do that, Shadee?
The only thing I can possibly think of is that they want to be able to focus on the American version more, perhaps. Maybe they want to be able to focus and have more money towards servers and whatnot over here. Maybe they're expecting so many people, they don't know if they'll be able to afford the server upkeep when it's first launched, or...
What?
I don't see any other reason why they would just
Yeah.
throw away all their European money.
Well, keep in mind, Sony's still going to be the main content producer. So when they make their EverQuest 2 expansions and things like that, those will still be made by Sony. ProSiebenSat isn't taking over those. But ProSiebenSat will have a hand in localization and monetization throughout Europe. Are you telling me that Sony needed money up front?
I know.
Sony is so
as I said
absolutely
that, I
broke
was
right
like,
now that they're like, oh my god, I don't know if we can afford the North American servers. We better sell off all of Europe. Let's just sell it.
Well, that's the only possible reason that could come into my mind, is that they have some plan or some sort of concern about that. I don't understand it. That's the only possible reason, and it's a crappy reason. I totally agree.
It is a
It's
crappy
the only
reason.
thing that comes to mind.
I love you to death. You're my boy Blue, but that's a terrible reason. Sony was out of money. They needed to borrow some.
It sounds like ProSiebenSat has some embarrassing photos of Sony Online.
Right.
Blackmail
And they're just
involved.
like, exactly. They're
I am
like, you know
so
what?
going to Facebook this if you don't sell me everything.
You remember when you saw that escort Sony Online?
I have my idea for this. It's got to come down to, just like we talked about in Universal Monsters, got to come down to the dollar sign. They're a developer. They're a producer. They're a publisher. I've got to believe that the only reason behind this, or at least the main driving force, and it's certainly not going to be the public reason. You know, Sony's not going to come out and say, we did it for the Benjamins. They're not, they're not going to do that. But I think Sony looked at it and said, we can make more money in a one-time sale than we believe we can in the cash shops over the long term. And so we'll sell it. And ProSiebenSat says, it's got to be thinking in the back of their minds, we can do things our way, and we believe that we're going to make more money in the long term than this money we're shelling out to Sony. So I think both companies are thinking, you know, Sony, get the money now, we'll make more than we would over the long term. ProSiebenSat saying, we'll make more over the long term, give them the money now. That's got to be the only reason either one of these two companies actually came to agreement on this, is that they were happy with the dollar arrangements.
That makes more sense than me.
then Sony needed a bank loan.
Sony's so poor now. No, but are they going to be able to run the cash shop however they want then? And the European version?
Not only that, the Station Pass. Are you familiar with Sony Station Pass?
It's a monthly fee, right? Sort of like the
yeah, it's a
Xbox
monthly
Live.
fee, and you get access to all the games.
Gotcha.
So instead of paying $14.99 and playing WoW, you pay $14.99 and you get EverQuest, EverQuest 2, DCUO. I mean, you get all of the list there, which is good if you like more than one Sony Online Entertainment game. If you're gonna, it's a good deal for that. Not only is ProSiebenSat getting the monetization for the cash shops, Sony isn't even going to make any more money off those station IDs, those station passes. They're telling everybody that whatever time you have left on your station pass, you'll still be given, but at the end of that, you'll have to convert to whatever ProSiebenSat has set up, and there's no details on what they're going to set up, if anything.
That's scary.
Yeah, so the money is totally shifting hands here. And that's why I got to believe Sony just looked at it and said, we believe, after all of our analysis, that the money we get from ProSiebenSat to take this venture over will be greater than what we think we can make in the cash shop in Europe. That's the only sense of it I can make.
It sounds like it won't be hard to beat Sony's online policies, so hopefully it'll turn out okay.
All right, enough. I love PlanetSide 2. Thumbs up from me. What about you guys?
Thumbs up, definitely.
Brimberly Longstockings? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Oh, the mute button.
Hey, you and Kalen. Oh, good grief.
Thumbs up. I'm sitting here going, thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Well, real quick, this week we had the Smite match between Magicman and Shadee. Was epic proportions, if I do say so myself. Brim, you should have been there. It was a thing of beauty. We had teams from all over the world. Just to give a shout out, I had XDRT effects on Dragon Ninja and Mantis. Shadee, who'd you have? You had Random, Takiji.
Yeah, we had
Ed,
Random
and Dawn
pulled in at the
Silver.
last second.
Yeah,
and then we had Ed. Ed was there with the incredibly unpronounceable name. Then we had Don Silver and Taikiji.
And
Probably my
so
favorite name.
I'm going to tell you, Brim, right now, and you may not believe this, I talked a lot of shit before this match.
Oh, you never do that.
Believe
Never.
it or not.
Never. I never do that. I know my limitations and what games I'm good at and what games I'm not. I know I'm bad at Smite. I know I'm bad at MOBAs. But I still talked a lot of shit. How do you think this one panned out there, Brim?
Oh,
Take a guess. You haven't seen the video yet. It just went up today, right?
right. No, I have not seen
Oh,
it.
so you have no indication. How do you think this went?
Oh, I am gonna say. I have a feeling it was gonna be either one extreme or the other. Either you just got slaughtered by Shadee,
Uh-huh.
or it was gonna be down to like the wire.
Okay. And so which one are you going with there? Did I get slaughtered or did the match go down to the wire?
I'm gonna say it went down to the wire.
Okay. And at the end of the wire, who emerged victorious?
I gotta go with my boy Shadee.
Well, you're 1 out of 2. I'll tell you that.
Oh, that
Which-
means
which
somebody
one
got
did you-
slaughtered.
Which one did you get right? You got the fact that Shadee won right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Of
no!
As much as it pains me to say this, Shadee and his team were the dominant force in MOBA that day. I don't know if the literal gods were just on their side. I don't know if Shadee, if you guys, and even Shadee at one point during the match, he's like, apparently we have found the best combination of 5 characters in this game, sheerly by accident.
Yep. Right towards the end. I was like, well, I'm going to keep this in mind for future reference.
Because we got raffle stomped. I mean, it was... We didn't even take down a tower.
Oh,
Came close.
We came close. At one point, I had so given up on the match that I just stormed up left lane to try and take that tower down so that at least it wasn't a tower shutout. At which point my team says, Magic Man, get back in the middle lane where you're supposed to be. So my condolences to my team. My team was epic. They were really good. I mean, they knew their stuff. They were in vent, back and forth, and they were giving me tips on where to go. I cannot fault any single member of my team except me.
You're telling me that you were so bad,
Yes.
you just dragged the performance down of everyone around you.
That's what I genuinely believe. I believe that my performance was so bad 4 people could not compensate for it in any way, shape, or form. Because not only am I just bad at MOBAs, but my top 2 guys, I normally take Zeus, what's the other one, Shadee? The blue ice guy.
Emir. That's who
Ymir,
I played
thank
that
you.
match, actually.
Yeah, those are
Just
the
to
2.
rub it in your face.
Yeah. Dick. One of the those are one of the 2 gods I normally take. And somebody had called them, and they said, well, let Magic Man pick first. And I was like, no, it's all right, guys. I'll just take something else. I'm bad at this. It really doesn't matter who I pick. I'm not going to do very well. I just don't have enough MOBA practice.
If only they knew.
Yeah. And so they picked them, and I'm like, okay, I'll take Hell. Which apparently Hell's a rather complex character. Did not know this. No
Probably
reason.
the most complex in the
Did
entire
not know.
game.
Apparently, there's 2 stances. I was healing and I was doing damage in one stance and the other, and I didn't really catch on to Hell until about halfway through the match, and by then it was way too late. It was way too late, but it was a ton of fun.
It was. It definitely was.
We had players from everywhere, from Norway, from Portugal, from right here in the United States, from Italy. It was nuts, and we hope to do it again. It was a lot of fun hanging out with those guys. I apologize to my team for my badnessosity, but they were fantastic. I couldn't have asked for a better team. And Shadee, I talked a bunch of shit, but congratulations to you and your team, you were far superior on that day.
I agree.
Way to be humble.
The sweet taste of vengeance.
Well, the video's up on the site. We've also got some other videos, great content there over at mmobomb.com. Head on over, check it on out there. Spunkify's content's going to be dropping soon. He's going to be...
Yes, hello.
Yes, hello? 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 Spunkify's new content's gonna... I'm leaving that in. Spunkify's content's gonna be dropping soon. He's our new U.S. editor, and so he'll be doing some first looks. He's got some of his own shows that he'll be bringing over. He'll be bringing over as well, and he will be joining us for the free-to-play cast recording that we do on August 12th. So you can look forward to Spunkify's debut here on the free-to-play cast the week of August 12th. Let's slide over to the weekly bombs and cap this one off, guys. Brim, you're up first.
Oh, thank God.
I have a feeling I just got to let you get something out here.
Oh, you know it. So, I'm just going to... Okay. I'm giving a A-bomb.
Uh-oh.
Right?
That cruise did you a lot of good.
Yeah. So... You remember back in February?
Yeah, I remember February. My birth month.
I remember February. There was a particular company, Gamigo, that had a security breach.
Yeah, I think you gave it an A-bomb at the time, didn't you?
Probably. I have a tendency to find the security breaches.
No, they weren't real particular on that one. It was just a security breach.
Right, it was vague. I think they had shut down a couple of their games. I don't remember if they shut down the website or not. But, they just it was kind of vague, where they told their, gamers, there's been a problem, and we're taking care of it.
Yeah, and we teed off on them not for the breach, but more for not keeping the gamers informed.
Right. That's what it was.
I remember that.
They waited like 10 or 14 days or something to let everybody know.
And then they didn't let anybody know any details.
Right. So, whatever.
So what the hell are we talking about this in July for?
July. What is it? Is that 5 months? 5 months later, we now know the severity of that breach.
What happened?
8.24 million passwords were taken.
Good grief. Email addresses too?
Email addresses, passwords.
That's a whole lot of emails.
Some, other news, gamer news or whatever, they're calling it the worst hack of the year so far.
Oh, great. Not just calling that, somebody's at home going, so the record's 8.2 million? It's 8.2? It's 8.2? All right.
Actually, I have an exact number for you. 8,243,809 users.
Brim, was this you? Do you have like an Excel sheet right there of everything? And you're like,
hold on,
let me tell you exactly how many I got.
I gotta go. You never heard me. Who is this? Prank caller.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Well, I got a dub bomb. So, since you're going to be a negative Nancy over emails and passwords.
Just a few.
Just a few emails and passwords. I did the first look this week for City of Steam, kind of talked about it a little bit above earlier in the show here. I got to give it a dub bomb. I did the first look this week. Browser-based, already told you, it's kind of like a mix of Diablo-style dungeon crawling with the whole C9 or Vindictus Persistent World City. Pretty impressive visually, especially considering it was a browser. I do have some concerns about the cash shop. I mean, they had consumable potions in there, but then they also had crafting mats and mods for gear in the cash shop. So I'm eager to see about the availability of those types of items in the game itself. But it's still an alpha, so I mean, very, very early. To be judging it on its cash shop. It's just a concern I have. Overall, I actually enjoyed the game. I mean, it doesn't do a whole lot of stuff brand new, but it's got that steampunk vibe, which not a lot of games are utilizing, and it was fun. That's the main thing I look for. It was a fun damn game. Da-bomb. Way to go, Machinist Games. Keep it up. Shadee, you're up, brother.
All right. My da-bomb is for Heroes and Generals. It has actually been a while since I've looked at this game. And I got a newsletter the other day telling me about their latest update, and oh my god. Every time they come out with an update, I'm like, they cannot possibly add more to this game to make it more amazing. Like, at this point, it's just going to be bug fixes, and they're going to launch it.
Right.
And they have a whole new mission lobby. They have completely revamped their map balance, because you play on the entire, European world map where World War II was. And they've completely revamped that, so it's balanced out. There's no more complete shutouts like 10 versus 0 or 5 versus 0, or people refusing to battle in certain cities just because they want to hold them, sort of using the system to their advantage. They took the ability to do that out. They've added in the character ranking system now, so you can get experience, you can rank up for all the battles you're doing. And just the depth that this game has, every time I come back and look at it, I'm just so impressed with it. You have the whole map, you now have character rankings, you have unlocks, you have so much opportunity to make platoons and send them to certain areas where you want to fight. It's got a little bit of everything, whether you like RTSs or first-person shooters, or just, it's amazing. I can't give this game enough da-bombs. It is fantastic.
And you can ride a bike.
And you can ride a bike now. And one of the latest updates, you can throw a buddy on the back of your bike. How's that?
Nice.
Twice the biking ability.
Does it have like the 80s pegs on the back tire where your buddy can stand on? Remember
I
those?
hope so. I have not paid enough attention to that, but I got to take a look at that.
Member bombs from you guys and girls out there. Make sure you submit your bombs. You can put them in the YouTube comments below. You can put them on the website below. You can email those bad boys to magicman@mmobomb.com. You can throw them on the MMO Bomb forums, and we'll get them in there. We search all of them for the weekly bombs to get your feedback on what you like and what you don't like in the world of gaming. A lot of people want to know. Everybody posts this on. Somebody posts it on every single video. Da-bomb. Something really good. Da-bomb. It can be a good game, a good company, a decision. Anything free-to-play related that you really like gets a da-bomb. American slang for something really good. Or A-bomb, as in boom, A-bomb, for something really bad in the free-to-play world. That's it. Last week somebody dropped an F-bomb. That's a totally different topic and not one that we go into on this show. We have da-bomb and A-bomb, so that's the way it works. Godstomp25 says, hey guys, how are you all? For the question of the week, which last week's question was, what's the worst free-to-play MMO you've ever played and why? We'll get Shadee and Brim's answer when we get down there. For the question of the week, the worst free-to-play game I've ever played has to be a Pandora Saga, because first of all, it's not a very popular game, and almost every time I got a quest, I wouldn't know where in the hell to go, because when I played it, there was a bug that wouldn't show me where the damn quest mark was. As for the bomb, I have two. One of them is for the free-to-play cast hosts and for having Spunkify in the team now. Well, thank you. That's very flattering, Godstomp25. And the other bomb goes to Dark Blood. Really cool game. Good graphics. Really like that we have the option to play with a controller. Keep up the awesome work. I'm dying to see more of your awesome vids. Well, thank you, Godstomp. We appreciate that. And so a dub-bomb to us and a dub-bomb to Dark Blood.
Oh, very cool.
Dark Blood's got the boobies. Yeah. That was fun. Again, arcade brawler, want to unplug your mind and just beat some crap up. That's a great game to do it. Ebonic Hero. I want to give a dub-bomb to free-to-play games in general. Being a PC gamer since I was a kid, and being alienated and ridiculed by my console-wielding neighbors in my younger years. This sounds like Mark Twain wrote this. This is very well-worded, and it's just, it sucks you in and makes you feel like part of the story, Brim. I think this is one that definitely should be read in an English accent.
Some music in the background.
Yeah, with some music in the back. I don't have any music queued up, but I'd like to give a dub-bomb to the free-to-play cast, or free-to-play games in general. Being a PC gamer since I was a kid, and being alienated and ridiculed by my console-wielding neighbors in my younger years, I felt like the time of personal computers was up. But now, With a new crop of free-to-play games, I'm proud to brag to my 360 and PS3 friends that have to pay any sort of money and even test the crappiest of anticipated releases. So again, dub-bomb to all, and I mean all games that have and will come out that require no charge at all. It makes me happy that I stuck it out with the PC. Giving an A-bomb to paying for downloadable content. Put that shit in the game.
I like how you kept reading and slowly your accent went away.
Yeah, it's a fading accent. By the time I was halfway through it, I was done. I was like, yeah, I'm done doing the accent.
Put that shit in the game.
Right. And that wouldn't have sounded right. Yeah, hello, put that shit in the game. You know, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right. What's the next one from Emil Brim?
Emil, D-bomb. Dub-bomb, I guess. Mm-hmm. D-bomb for Path of Exile.
Sorry, I'm not shocked that he or she's giving Path of Exile a D-bomb. I'm just choking, so it's okay. I played Path of Exile. I thought it was pretty good myself. Go ahead.
For the progression they have made, and the fact that we will all be enjoying the game soon. If I am not mistaken, it goes into open beta in August. Is that right? I think that's
right. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Although I find it difficult to die if I don't do it on purpose, yes, mobs really punch hard. But once I picked up a magic damage build for my Templar, I just one-shot everything except bosses and elite monsters. Bosses, in my definition, are big and scary, ugly, scary ugly, sorry, that are at the end of the acts or big places like a prison. I would buy that.
Makes sense.
That's any boss. She also says A-bomb to Brick Force for not letting me update the client so I can actually see if I can play that damn thing.
Nice. Path of Exile right now is still doing their testing weekends. They just finished one up yesterday. So they're doing these prior to the open beta. So I would guess, yeah, sometime in August. I mean, I don't have inside knowledge on that one, or I didn't look it up, but I would guess sometime in August. Bushinji says, even though Night Age is just another anime MMO, you should still give it a try without personal prejudices, just as you're supposed to as a game tester. And yeah, bugs can be a real pain in the butt, but this wasn't even open beta yet. It's nice to point out bugs, but why not commenting a bit more on the relevant stuff like game, content, gameplay, game design, etc. I agree. And he or she's referring to last week's show. I wasn't very complimentary of Night Age because it was my A-bomb. So, you know, that whole point of the show is something I'm ticked off with in a game. So that's why I didn't go into, you know, good stuff that I did like about the game. There were good things that I did like about the game. For that information, check out the first look video that I did for Night Age. That's a bit more unbiased with the good and the bad. The dub-bomb and A-bomb in a show, if I give an A-bomb, I'm sorry, I'm only going to talk about a bad aspect. Question of the week, guys. What's the worst free-to-play MMO you've ever played and why? Shadee, what's up?
Oh, man. I couldn't hardly decide on this one. There's so many excellent choices that I just want to bash on. It was between Vindictus, MapleStory, and Final Fantasy XIV, I think, was the online one.
Well, the second online one, yeah.
Final
Fantasy 11 was online and 14 was online. 14's the most recent that is getting ready to go into beta for version 2.0, which is supposed to be relaunched at the beginning of 2013.
It probably would have been 11. I don't even remember which Final Fantasy it was because I seriously played that game for like 10 minutes. That is probably
How long ago
the quickest years ago. It would have been...
Yeah, that was 11.
3 years ago, maybe?
Oh, yeah. That was 11 then.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely... If you pick Final Fantasy 11, we may not talk anymore.
What?
That was a great game.
That was going to be my pick. I mean...
That was a great MMO.
What?
You didn't appreciate the subtleties. You didn't like to work for things. It's all on you for not liking that one, my friend.
All I remember with that one was running around the starting area with nobody else there and going, where do I go? That's what I did for like 10 minutes, and I was like, I give up. I'm done.
Yeah, 10 minutes would be a really quick initiation to Final Fantasy XI. Really in-depth game. Followed the old school, the original EverQuest and Ultima Onlines, where you had to work for an awful lot, which sadly I think is missing from a lot of MMOs now.
Oh yeah, they've definitely gotten.
It's so casual that there's no real. I remember getting my artifact gear, and I talked about this in an interview with. If you get a chance, a YouTube channel, the Prince of Mill Avenue, AVE, abbreviated, does MMO anthropology and does interviews with gamers and MMO players. And I had the privilege of being one of the guests on a previous episode. And I talked about one of my favorite moments in MMOs, and it was getting the Red Mage artifact gear in Final Fantasy XI for my Red Mage, because it was just such a great... you had to work your ass off to get anything in that game. So what about you, Brim?
Worst free-to-play game?
Well, he said Final Fantasy XI, which isn't free-to-play, so the question was just worst MMO.
Oh, worst MMO.
I said free-to-play, but Shadee decided he was going to ignore that.
Okay,
I totally could have picked Maple Story or Vindictus. I'm open to just hate on anything. I mean, really.
If it's going to be any game or any MMO, I'm going to actually pick a fairly new game.
Uh-oh.
And it's going to have to be Diablo 3.
Ooh.
That's not... Well... Ugh.
Stirring the
and
pot
we
there, huh?
get into that whole debate on what is an MMO. Yeah, I think a lot of people agree with you there. But the question was free to play. Since you guys didn't answer it, I'm going to throw it to the viewers. Blake Romano 19 says probably Warren Story. Played it for 10 minutes, uninstalled it. You know why? My bomb is an A bomb to Minecraft for not going free to play. By the way, Warren Story was awful. Is awful. Foldish. The worst game would probably be Moo Online for me. It wasn't too bad long ago when it was hosted by K2 or something like that, but when WebZen started hosting it, the EXP rate got decreased, drop rate decreased. If I remember correctly, if you want to have a decent experience or drop rate, you'd have to spend approximately $90 to $100 per month on it, and there's nothing really fun about the game, at least for me. It's a total grind since level 1 to the max level, and even into the master levels or whatever they're called that got added on the way. They might as well make it pay to play and give the boost to everyone, because with free to play you'll be spending years and you won't get anywhere. Wow.
Shoot.
I don't remember Moo Online being that bad. I mean, it's been a long time and I didn't play it all that long, but damn. So Brim, to your point on newer games and to your point on subscription-based games, got a surprise for you. The one we got the most. Even though the question was, what's the worst free-to-play MMO you got ever played? The answer that showed up the most was the answer Crystal Cody gave. The worst MMORPG I've ever played was World of Warcraft. That answer showed up the most. The most people said that one. Now, to continue Crystal Cody's here, don't get me wrong, it's a quality game, but it definitely was worst in my taste. It had depth and quality, but for me it was boring as hell. Quest, 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 quest. There was no time for your own decisions. I edited Crystal Cody there,
That is not what that says.
I know. I had to edit Crystal Cody.
Hold on.
Yeah, there was no time for your own decisions, and that's the problem with most MMORPGs. Want to play this game and progress better? Then do what we say or go... yourself. Do things to yourself. I'm editing Crystal Cody again. As for free-to-play, well, there is none. I hate clickers and quest grinders alike. I could definitely understand where Crystal Cody's coming from, though. If you hate questing, I could totally understand why World of Warcraft is probably the worst game you've ever played.
The question is, which expansion was Crystal Cody looking at?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, did they do something different? In all the games, it's quest, 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 quest. It's end game that changes in each expansion.
I guess.
Well,
I mean, it's hard to argue that, though, Brim. I mean, that's what World of Warcraft was known for and why it became so wildly popular at the beginning. Because it took some of those EverQuest aspects and things like that, but put more and more questing behind it. So it was a little bit different in the sheer number of quests. That's what it was known for. So I could definitely understand Crystal Cody's point of view. If you hate questing, then yeah, I could totally see World of Warcraft being one of the worst.
Yeah.
You don't like Crystal Cody's point of view? All right, fine. I'll give you Erase to Improves. WoW is a very bad game. It sucks so many other games want to be like WoW. Being as successful as WoW is easy. Just appeal to the lowest common denominator of gamers and have smooth frame rates and half decent graphics, and voila. And don't you dare require skill in your game or else you'll never be as successful as WoW. That's Erase to Improve's opinion. Wow, getting bashed.
Phew. I think the reason WoW is going to get so much hate over this question is because it's probably the one game almost everybody has tried in the MMO genre. And again, with the picks that I made for worst, I'm sure there's worse free-to-play MMOs than what I mentioned. I just haven't played them because they're not popular, because they're the worst. And I think that's why WoW is going to be so common to be hated on for the answers.
Yep, if you've got the biggest audience playing, you're going to have the most people that like it and the most people that don't. Shadowfang 3001, thank you, Shadowfang, for sticking to the free-to-play question, unlike my co-host today. Forsaken World is a broken game. It is ridiculously easy to level up. There is a chain in which you can redo unlimited times till you reach max level. Then the whole astral system, or whatever it's called, literally gives you experience in a bottle.
Wow.
I actually like Forsaken World. Quite a bit. I'm not a big Perfect World guy. I'm more of a Forsaken World guy. But yeah, I will agree. It is easy to level up. But I like the game for other reasons. We're actually going to do that as a news story soon when we get some more information on some upcoming stuff for the game. Exnuminous says, worst free-to-play MMO? I would have to say the MOBA genre as a whole. They're churning this crap out like there's no... Is that Brim clapping?
That's Brim.
I think the only one to bring something new to the table was Smite, and all that was a fancy new camera angle. Everyone on the MOBA train.
Thank you, Exnuminous.
Exnuminous just throwing the whole genre under the bus. Spirit WeX. I don't play a lot of other MMOs other than WoW, but I have to go with Star Wars The Old Republic.
Wow, really?
I was so looking forward to it, and what we got was a rushed, buggy piece of crap. At least that's my opinion. I know a lot of people like it, so whatever. I didn't think it was all that... I mean, it had bugs. Yeah, you're definitely right. I just think... I love the Star Wars IP, man, but there is nothing to do at Endgame. That game relied way too heavily on you wanting to roll alts, and I don't want to roll alts.
Alts and PvP.
Yeah. Last one. Neokiva. We always do this. This is like the second or third time I've used Neokiva's comments. But the reason I picked this one is because it's a question for us. My question, you guys and girls, there was all guys here today. Have you recently heard of Sword Art Online, an anime based on a light novel in the same vein as .hack virtual reality MMO? However, with a twist. The players that are logged in as a feature, not only can they not log out, but if they die in-game, they also die in real life. And also, if people outside try to remove the headgear, they'll also die. The only way to escape is to complete the 100 floors of the game world and beat the last boss. My question is, do you think you'd play it if you knew beforehand that you could die? Or would you have to be like the people in the anime and be blind to it until it's too late to do anything about it? So either way, we're getting in this game. There is no not playing it. But would you rather know before you sit down and put the helmet on that you have a chance to die if you don't beat this game? Or would you rather not know and just play the game and accept the consequences, be what they may? You got to play it. The way the question is worded, you're going to play it. There's no option to not play it. What do you think, Brim?
I think I would like to know. Because,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because, let's think about this.
I just hope this game ain't a frickin' MOBA or I'm screwed.
If you go into the game not thinking that, or not knowing the consequences, you're just going to goof off and not really think about what's going on. You're just trying to learn the game.
All right. What about you, Shadee?
I was gonna say the exact same thing that Brim said. There's no way I want to go into a game like that blind. I would want to know that I got to be hardcore serious try hard mode at step 1.
No way. No way. I would not want to know. Would not want to know, because then I would be sitting there playing, crapping myself. My hands would be shaking, and I'm just like, oh, I gotta get to the other floor, or I'm gonna die. Can't sleep. You know, no, I definitely just have to not know about it. Just go in and play. Because if I know ahead of time, come on, you don't think that's gonna impact your play?
Dude.
It's like, where's a potion? Oh my god!
And that's why Shadee slaughtered you.
Oh.
Well, I already said if it was a MOBA, then I would just be like, yeah, you just want to shoot me now? I don't even want to put
Make
that
this
helmet
easy.
on. Yeah.
Here's my guns and my axes. I'm done.
Right. Just keep the helmet. Give it to the next guy. Let's go out back behind the shed and you can shoot me. All right, question of the week, guys. In addition to your weekly bombs, it's time. We do it every couple of months here. Anything you want to know week. Any question you want to ask any of the hosts. And if they're not on next week's show or scheduled to be on it, I will get the question to them ahead of time and get you an answer if we choose to use your question on the show. It can be game related. It can be personal. It can be just something you're dying to know about any of the hosts on the show. Anything you want to know about the hosts. Let's throw it around, or about our opinions on anything. Throw it around for the final word. Let's start with you, Shadee.
Fine. What?
That's a good final word.
I'm panicking.
Good job.
Oh, God.
Good job. He's dead. That's it. It's game over. Brim, you're up.
Well, since Shadee took his helmet off too early, now he's dead. I want to thank you for another week. It's good to be back. Looks like I'm actually off for a couple weeks instead of every week, Magic Man.
Yep. See, I'm helping you out, brother. My boy,
don't
Blue.
forget to hit me up on Twitter, BRIMTTIN. I need your derps of the week.
Ah, yes.
Hope he sent me any.
Yes. Shadee, where can listeners follow you at?
Twitter at Shadee Pones, Facebook Shadee Gaming, and yeah, all that good stuff. Anything with Shadee in it, I mean, just
Where are you
just
streaming?
assume it's me.
Where are you streaming nowadays for these cats that don't know?
Oh yeah, I am streaming on YouTube daily, 6 p.m. EST, which kind of sucks for the European viewers. I apologize for that, but it is youtube.com/ShadeePwns, ShadeePwns. Gonna have that Y in there.
Awesome. Well, for Brim and Shadee, I'm your host, Magic Man. You can hit me up on Twitter at MagicMan1. That's MAGICKMANN1. You can hit me on the email, magicman@mmobomb.com. Until next time, guys, stay safe, and we'll see you on the servers.